Reed Harker's the only former winner in the category. It's down to turn one they go. They don't mess about, they just get straight into it, don't they?
Just see on that shot of the guys coming across the start-finish line, just really light drizzle. It makes these conditions really tricky from within inside the car because you have the wiper going, you're using the windscreen as we go on board here with Milligan. You see the windscreen and you use the raindrops as a reference to how wet it is. You're also trying to just gauge the colour difference in the circuit. So at the moment, there is no colour difference, which when you're inside that driver's seat, suggests that it is wet everywhere.
Here comes Scott. He looked for a move down the inside, but the door slammed shut from Jaden Ransley, who's hoping to put a 5-second gap on this group to stay in second position at the end of the race. Windscreen wipers on at the top side of the circuit. We're back on board with Dylan Golson, who runs in 10th position. That's Quinn on the inside as he takes the high line at the Husqvarna hairpin.
That safety car restart has really played into the hands of Connor Adam. He has checked out massively on this opening lap. Good restart, put his head down. And given he's the pioneer in these conditions, normally we see the leader taking it a bit easy, but he's gone the other way.
No.
And he's absolutely put the hammer down.
Absolutely no fear, is there? 2 seconds this after the first flying lap. The cars arguing over position further back in the field. Quinn and Golson, who's gone ahead of Harker now. Oh, really wide, you can't do that. He's going to head towards the grass. And Lucky's got that gap in traffic.
Didn't actually lose any time out of it. Very alternative line through turn one.
They've made some time up.
Possibly.
Out of the GJ Gardner-Holmes turn and down this long back straight. We came back to Pukekohe Park in 2013. This complex of corners we're coming up to was added in. Some would argue it might have slowed the racing down a bit and not maybe made that hairpin so exciting. I beg to differ. As off the track goes car number 3, the East Pack entry of Scott, who now drop back in behind this group, you'd think, after shortcutting the track. And that's Hill pushing Milligan. There's going to be a big incident here. You just feel it, can't you?
Where do you go? Look where all these cars are going left, they're going right, they're just looking for opportunities anywhere. Back to your point on that turn 5, 6, mate, I 100% agree with you. I think it's opened up passing opportunities. How often do we see guys braking side by side into 5, and the guy on the outside can hang on to it and try and get the job done at 6, and then they run up to the hairpin? For me, that's awesome.
It's 2 more chances.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Through they come, just getting a little bit heavier out of our commentary box window. The rain is. As down the straight we go behind Scott and into turn number 1. That was Bramwell King. Pole position he'll have for race 3 tomorrow. Race 2 to come up this afternoon. Like I said, a marble draw. And King in his first appearance was trying any kind of line to get the job done here.
I can confirm for you, it is raining heavier out there, but it's still dry in this comms box, so this is the place to be for sure.
You're liking this commentary stuff, aren't you? A lot drier. Turn number 1, some great slow-mo shots. It's the 11 going through of Tom Alexander, who will start from pole position, the F5000 race today in that Lola.
Our man down in the pit lane there, Cameron Vanderdungen, he will be running for cover about now, I'd say. Found himself a dry spot in the garage.
He wouldn't have left the garage.
Might be a bit quiet down there.
There's King and Scott for the 2nd time going off the track, and now puts him right to the bottom of this group. Back on board with Golson. 3 wide into the Husqvarna hairpin. Why not? And Scott will be hung out to dry there. So he's back at the tail of this group all of a sudden, from the front to the back.
3 wide and 5 cars nose to tail into that hairpin. I don't know where to look.
No. 13 cars. Can you imagine 26 of them out there right now? Sometimes you don't need quantity to have great racing.
So that rain looks like it's just slowed down a little bit. Although it wasn't heavy, look how shiny this circuit is. That shine coming off it suggests it'll be very, very greasy out there. In terms of sitting in the car and racing, you either want it completely dry or really, really wet, because then you know what you're in for. These conditions are tricky. Those verges will be really, really slippery. But some parts of the circuit will have enough grip and it'll be an adventure every single corner that you arrive at.
Particularly here, because this is the resurface part. This has looked shiny all weekend long. Throw some water on. This is going to be an ice rink if it really starts coming down.
Well, more so down here into turn 5. Look at the difference here. We can see the reflection off the headlights. It's that shiny.
That's Harker down the inside on the 21 machine, the 91 machine, I should say, of Quinn.
And they're going on with it.
This is great.
This is the battles I was talking about before. 5 and 6 provides that opportunity to see guys going too wide, and it's still on.
Cameron Hill slides his way up the Husqvarna hairpin. He runs in 8th position. It's back to the front. Jaden Ransley has only got 2 seconds on Milligan. He might find himself in 3rd. That 5-second time penalty added to the end of his race. As through they come to complete another lap.
What's happened to Connor Adam here? He had a huge lead going on, but Ransley has chased him down. He does have that 5-second penalty hanging over his head.
He needs to get on with this. He needs to get past with time running out. Behind him is Milligan, who's reeled these guys in. He was 2 seconds behind. Now they're stuffing in as they bang door handles out of the GJ Gardner-Holmes turn, and Milligan will be the big winner out of this.
Smart driving from Milligan. He could see that happening. He could see that Ransley looked hungry and that he wanted to get the job done. So Ransley went for a move forward and has lost 2.
Here he comes. So Adam back to 3rd place. Does he know, though, there's a 5-second time penalty added to the 53 car? Does he need to get into this fight?
Connor Adam.
We know the answer, but does he?
Connor Adam, he's just gone from 1st to 3rd. You know what's happening with that car? It looked very fast on the restart.
Here it is from Milligan's perspective. Side by side, there's the bang of door handles, and he read the play, went down the inside, whole head of steam, and put the leader back to 3rd place by the time he got down to turn number 5.
Showed some real smarts there, Jack Milligan. That onboard was terrific. You could hear that he was just a bit earlier on the brake. He knew something was going to happen. You get a sense of that from within the driver's seat. And what he did, the reason he was a little bit earlier on the brake, he was just making sure that if he needed to go to the left, he had an option. And if he needed to go to the right and get on the throttle early, he had that option also. So very well played, Jack Milligan.
2 laps to go here. Greasy conditions in turn number 1. It's the first group of cars going through the shop. We're looking back to 9th, 10th and 11th. Baldwin, Hill and Golson.
Ransley,
and that's Ransley who's now a bit of drama. We just caught the tail end of that, so that 5 seconds is going to put him towards the back of the field. So what's happened to car 53? It's now brought Alexander into it, car number 11. He now moves up into 2nd position.
Just looking for some marks on the car of Connor Adams there to see if him and Ransley had come together at all. Just looks like he's battling. He's got no pace in that car. Was he really high in tyre pressure? And that's why he had some good pace on the safety car restart, but he's getting eaten alive here. Or has he got an issue?
Bramble King slides around the outside now to move up another position. He goes up into 4th from 8th on the grid. This track continues to get wetter as they start the final lap here at Pukekohe Park in race 1 of this year's Toyota 86 New Zealand Championship. It's going to be the attire for the day, I think, what the flag waver was wearing there in the finishing box. So here we go, King on the back of Adam. Milligan ahead, so the Corvette's cars 1 and 2 in this race. He's got a big gap already, hasn't he? Under 3 seconds as Milligan never won here before at Pukekohe. Sorry, Milligan this year, and off goes Golson. All the hard work for the custom accessories entry has come up donuts. He's at the back of the field. Who's going to win this? Down to turn 5. Here comes King.
That's very deep. Will he pull it up?
He'd be drowning if we're using that term.
It's not looking like it.
He slides his way out. Will he keep the car under control? He'll have to slide back in behind this group, and he does. But guess what? There's 2 more cars lining up for a piece of the action. From 2nd back to 5th in the blink of an eye. His teammate, though, 3 seconds. It's going to be more than that when we get to the finish line of Jack Milligan. As he comes around to the final turn, this is the battle for 2nd and 3rd position. What a drive from car 17. We saw him out in Australia early this year in our Australian Toyota 86 Championship. But Jack Milligan wins race number 1 here in New Zealand today. And that was exciting. That's a good form guide for this season.
You mentioned he'd never had a win here. He does now.
Chalk it up. There's a W in the box. The rest of the field come across the line, and not much separating 4th and 5th there. McDonald ahead of Harker by 1/10 of a second at the finish line.
Not only did Jack win, but given that he only led the race for 3 laps. He had massive amounts of pace in that car and really left the other guys in his wake, literally in his wet wake.
He did. Nice words. We saw the Golson car there spinning off in the background there, but well done to Jack Milligan, collecting the win by 3.7 seconds in the end there. Back to the pole man, Connor Adam. Behind him was Alexander, McDonald, Harker and King. Chris Quinn got home for 7th, Jordan Baldwin in 8th, Cameron Hill back to 9th, and Jaden Ransley with an additional 5 seconds.